Hello and welcome to Martin Lucas Investors channel. My name is Sensei and we've got a big news story for you today. We've got a lot going on today. Markets are down. We've got the downgrade news which we covered last night. We're going to go into that again. We've got the Putin-Trump phone call coming up. That will be with Martyn. He'll be. Ooh, sorry, that was playing. And then we've got the bond sell-off. But going straight into breaking news, we've got a UK EU trade deal being done right now. So let's tune into this for just a second.
Swift and unimpeded access to humanitarian aid. The remaining hostage must be unconditionally released, and the permanent ceasefire must be reached now. Our discussion reaffirmed our shared conviction that lasting peace and security in the Middle East can only be achieved through the implementation of the two-state solution. Prime Minister, dear Keir, your leadership has been instrumental in turning ambition into action. Today's agreements are a testament to your determination and to the new tone you have brought to our relationship. The United Kingdom and the European Union are stronger when we stand together for prosperity, for security, and for peace in Europe and beyond. This is the message that underpins our renewed cooperation. This is the direction we are taking together after this successful summit, which will be just the first of many.
There is a lot going on this deal: defense,
we have agreed today,
trading, fishing,
from
youth.
now on, the European Union and the United Kingdom will meet every year. So, we see you last week in Brussels. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much, Antonio. Thank you for your words. But my dear Keir, this is a historic moment because it is the first ever EU-UK summit and it is a success. And this is also thanks to your leadership. And I really want to thank you for the leadership because it's not only about the summit, a day where we are here now in London, but it's all these weeks and months of preparation and hard work to get to the excellent result that we have. We're turning a page. We're opening a new chapter in our unique relationship. This is the story of historical and natural partners standing side by side on the global stage, facing most of.
What we're going to do is come back when Keir Starmer starts talking, but that is a new deal. The UK and EU agreed to cooperate on youth scheme, which would see young people be able to work and travel freely in Europe again. There's also the fishing deal that's been made, defense, sanctions on Russia. The UK will closely work with the EU to combat emissions by linking respected emissions trading systems. So a lot going on there. We will come back to that when we see Keir Starmer talking. News of the day: markets are coming down. We've got Bitcoin down 3% on the day. So far, it looks like a fake out. This is frustrating, but as we saw yesterday, we broke out, we covered it, and then we did start covering the fact that this could also be a fake out. If the candle closes like this, it will be a fake out. Not only that, it will be a bearish engulfing candle, and that could be a short-term top signal. So what we're going to do is keep an eye on this all the way through the day, see how it closes. But if this candle closes exactly how it is right now, I would be concerned for the markets because it would show it's a lower high, it would show it's a bearish engulfing candle, and that in trading terms signifies another downtrend, maybe quite a significant one. but we can't draw any conclusions yet. We have to wait for that daily candle to close. I certainly wouldn't be buying here, just like I said yesterday after the breakout. Even though that we broke out, I still would not be buying. Here we've got Ethereum. Remember that resistance zone we were showing you a few days ago, the strong resistance, we never broke it, and therefore we've been coming down. Same story of XRP, we didn't break $2.62, and obviously we've sold off since. The level of support is $2.30. We're holding that for now. If Bitcoin continues to sell off, I would not be surprised to see $2.30 break and come back down. That's why I always say have a plan for the upside, have a plan for the downside. My plan at $2.62 was, if we have a breakout, great. I'm holding my XRP. I would love to see it go further up. If it doesn't hold it, then I'll keep an eye on $2.30. If I need more XRP, I would buy there. I personally don't need any more XRP. So now what I'm looking at is if it goes down to $2, then potentially I open a trade or buy some more XRP at $2. There's nothing for me to personally do at this $2.32 level, apart from wait to see if we go down lower or we go and have another test of $2.62. This is all being fueled by the broader markets. We've got gold heading up again, 1.35%. That means the S&P 500 is down 0.55%. It's actually recovered a little bit. It was down much worse earlier today. It was down another. It was about down about 1% on the day. It has recovered since, and it's down only 0.57%. The Nasdaq is down 1%. Broader markets are selling off. Why are they selling off? Well, it's that news story we covered yesterday. The Moody's downgrades US credit rating May 2025. So they've downgraded it. Bond yields are going up. Investors are demanding more percentage for the risks that the increased risks that they now have on that debt. So we'll look into that shortly. Let's see if there's any comments from you guys, and let's see if Keir Starmer has started to talk. Let me just see what they're saying.
Is there to tap into the vast potential that the North Sea offers, specifically for renewable, cheap, and homegrown energy. In addition, we're both committed to leading by example on the path to net zero. And that's why we've also agreed to work towards linking our emission trading system. A larger integrated system is a big step forward in decarbonization and creates a level playing field. Today, we also decided to facilitate trade flows of agri-food products between us and to work towards a common sanitary and
Matthias, I love it. Mug filled with tea and inspiration.
That means more certainty, more stability
plan for every scenario.
Farmers and food producers and fishermen and fisherwomen on both sides.
I wonder if there probably was an echo. I apologise. I should have had my headphones. Yeah, so Matthias is saying, let's get to work, guys. I'm locked in, mug filled with tea, inspiration, prepared for every scenario. Sensei on standby, and Lucas says ready in the chat. Loving it. Thank you, Matthias. Those tornadoes bend escape time, especially. Let's see. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe if you haven't done so already. We are covering a few
channel. Safer food with greater trust. 30. This is
different news stories at the moment. We've got Keir Starmer about to speak on a new historic UK-EU deal. We'll come to that when that starts. I don't think that's starting just yet.
For both our industries, so this decision is great news. Finally,
I think we're coming to Keir Starmer now, so let's tune back in and then we'll get on to the US news as well.
Keep our citizens safe. That means more joint operational work, especially through Europol, and seamless exchange of information. Because as we all know, crime doesn't stop at borders, neither should our response. On illegal migration, we are joining forces to crack down on smugglers and traffickers. This is organized crime. Our goal is clear. We want to protect our borders and prevent further tragedies. We're also stepping up, therefore, our joint cooperation with third countries. As you know, we on the European Union side have made this one of our priorities, and we welcome that the UK is joining us in this effort. Dear Keir, what we have agreed today is historic. It will make a real difference to people in the UK and across our union. But the message we are sending to the world today is equally, if not more important.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this deal.
It is a message that at a time of global instability, and when our continent faces the greatest threat it has for generations, we in Europe stick together. A strong EU-UK relationship is of fundamental importance for that, for our security, for our prosperity, for our shared destiny on this continent. And this is what it's all about today. So I want to thank you for hosting us. It was a great summit, and thank you very much for your leadership.
Well, thank you, Ursula. Thank you, Antonio, for your words, and thank you for your leadership on this as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Britain is back on the world stage, working with our partners, doing deals that will grow our economy, and putting more money in the pockets of working people. In the last 2 weeks alone, we've delivered trade deals with India and the US. And that means jobs saved, jobs created, more growth, and a huge vote of confidence in this country. It shows that as global instability is rising, the decisions that we've taken to stabilize the economy and lead the way internationally have made Britain a place where people want to do business once again. And from that position of strength, today we have struck this landmark deal with the EU, a new partnership between an independent Britain and our allies in Europe. This is the first UK-EU summit. It marks a new era in our relationship. And this deal
100 is moving up
is a
quickly
win-win.
now.
It delivers what the British public voted for last year. It gives us unprecedented access to the EU market, the best of any country outside of the EU or EFTA, all while sticking to the red lines in our manifesto about not rejoining the single market, the customs union, and no return to freedom of movement. So this deal is good for both sides. And let me set out why it is good for Britain. We've struck an SPS deal to make food and agricultural trade with the EU cheaper and easier. And that is slashing red tape and bureaucracy. And that means lower food prices at checkouts, more choice in our supermarkets, and of course more money in people's pockets. It will boost British exporters because once again, after a long absence, we'll be able to sell Great British burgers, shellfish, and other products into the EU. We've also struck a new defence and security partnership to strengthen our cooperation and strengthen our security, which is vital in this dangerous new era. And it will open the door to working with the EU's new defence fund, providing new opportunities for our defence industry, supporting British jobs and livelihoods. We're also increasing our cooperation on emissions trading, saving UK businesses from having to pay £800 million in EU carbon taxes. Once again, supporting British businesses, backing British jobs. Next, we're increasing our...
I think we've had enough of Keir Starmer for today. That is obviously seems to be good news. So we wanted to cover that as that was happening live, but going straight back into what's going on in the US markets, which is actually a bit more significant than what's going on in the UK. In terms of global markets, we're actually having a rebound on the S&P 500. We are actually up. We're up 0.4% already on the S&P 500, so that's recovering right now. Bitcoin, is that recovering? I would imagine it's coming up on the 5-minute time frame as well. Remember, well, it's not really showing too many signs of strength at the moment. Ever since that breakout last night, it has really plummeted towards the downside, nearly 4.7%. It is not showing any strength at all for now. Let's see if Bitcoin dominance is showing any strength either. No, Bitcoin dominance is been going sideways for a while now. Remember, this is exactly as we predicted. I mean, my squiggle is still on the chart of when I said Bitcoin dominance will come back up and then potentially come back down. So here we go. That's the sell-off. Everyone thought it was altcoin season. I said, don't get ahead of yourselves. We need Bitcoin to front run this run, potentially go to all-time highs, and this Bitcoin dominance chart to go back towards the upside. That's what's going on now. Let's see if it goes any further up. It can certainly go to 65%, or if all coins will start to outperform Bitcoin now. So we'll keep an eye on that. Going through the news of today. We are not obliged to pay EU carbon taxes, says Jerry. Yeah, I mean, that's what he's saying. We are obliged. Big news of the day, this is what's fueling everything, is the US credit rating downgrade. We covered this in detail yesterday, but just the key points. They've been downgraded from AAA to AA1. So the reasons Moody cited was soaring US debt, rising interest costs, and lack of political agreement on fiscal discipline. Everything fell. Treasury yields went above 5%. Dollar index is down 0.5%. Bitcoin and gold saw safe haven interest, but then Bitcoin went back to its. As I said, Bitcoin is not a safe haven. Everyone was saying that last night when Bitcoin was going to all-time highs. I came out and said, if the markets go down, Bitcoin will go down. Bitcoin is a risk on asset. Gold isn't. So there you go. Now you can see Bitcoin's down 5%. It's there we go. Investors fear sell America. Trend as bond vigilantes dump US debt to protest unsustainable spending. We've got the Trump new tax plan. Key House committee advances Trump's tax plus spending package, and Republican hardliners push for faster Medicaid cuts. Debt concerns rise due to lack of funding offsets. Martyn's going to be covering this. The Trump-Putin-Ukraine call today. Putin feels confident won't offer concessions is something that someone I took that from someone close to the matter has apparently said that, and that Putin is not willing to really talk and won't offer concessions. Trump may push for Ukraine settlement regardless. European officials are worried about Russian diplomacy. China's economy is mixed. Industrial output beats expectations. Retail sales was disappointing. Ongoing concern about uneven recovery in the world's #2 economy. NJ transit strike ends. Engineers reach agreement. Full service resumes Tuesday. Monday committee still affected. We've got Tesla down 4% pre-market. Nvidia down 3%. Alibaba falls on US concerns over Apple partnership. Why? Risk off sentiment continues after downgrade, and continued earnings uncertainty. Repricing of growth stocks due to bond yields. Remember, if bonds are offering 5%, that's possibly more than the S&P 500 has left to give. Surges in cases in Hong Kong and Singapore. We've got big surges there. We've got ticker symbol SK up 30, JP up 7.1, HK up 2.7, and Novavax. A lot of the COVID stocks are up 16% after a FDA approval. This week is a big week. We've got Fed speeches today. We've got US leading economic index. Tomorrow we've got the Australian rate decision, Qatar Economic Forum, multiple Fed speakers, Home Depot earnings. Wednesday we've got Target's earnings. Saab will be interested in that. We can always cover it, Saab, if you want to. I don't know if Saab's in the chat this morning. But Saab is interested in Target. Japan trade data. Thursday we've got the US, Japan, EU PMI data, ECB meeting minutes, economic European committee board, something like that. Analog devices, BJ's earnings. Friday we've got Japan CPI, US home sales plus permits, more Fed speeches. Fed is going to be speaking a lot this week, and I'm sure we'll get the coverage, or we will see what comes out of them. Macro themes: corporate cutting forecast, weak sentiment despite strong Q1 profits. Yes, everything's fine. Earnings have been beaten. Earnings have been well. However, we've seen a lot of companies cut their sort of expectations for the future, even not even give expectations, or they are signaling they don't know what's coming up. Profit guidance momentum lowest since 2010. Big tech reset opportunity. Magnificent Seven is underperforming. Hedge funds are buying again. Goldman Sachs expects rebound based on earnings strength. Risks high valuation and volatile macro. ECB's laggard on market confidence at a time when uncertainty is permanent in the US. Europe is rightly perceived as a stable economic area. ECB president. Final notes. Bond. Nothing more important. Okay, there we go. And obviously yesterday we covered the deep research on the downgrades. We showed you why they downgraded it. Very very quick recap of all of this. A credit rating is a grade that rating agencies give to government or company debt, reflecting how likely it is to repay their loans. They've dropped, so they're less likely they're going to repay their loans. Investors demand more yield for the increased risks. Moody's is one of the big three agencies. The other two have already downgraded the US previously. Moody's is the last one to do that. Why? Because of soaring debt and deficits, high interest costs, large physical gaps. Those are the reasons cited. We've got bond yields really spiking quite significantly to the upside. People will see that as an easy way to make money. They don't need to be invested in stocks. That's why stocks are coming down. Cryptocurrencies are also falling. Remember, they're still risk on assets. It doesn't mean they're a safe haven, that's for sure. We've seen this happen twice before when Standard & Poor's downgraded the US in August of 2011. There was a big market sell-off. I think it was about 7%. However, within weeks that stabilized. And then also we had it previously when Fitch rating downgraded. In 2023, that only dipped around 0.4%. So it can be anywhere in between. Big deal or overhyped. We came to the conclusion it's pretty much overhyped, and that this is just might be a concern for the longer term, might give us good yields and bonds for the short term, but it does seem like it's overhyped for the short term, and I wouldn't expect this to last any longer than a week if anything's going to occur from it, if this sell-off is going to continue. So that's a quick rundown of what the big story is, the US credit ratings. What do we also have going on today? We've got the XRP futures launch. Well, it's actually launched already, so we can go onto TradingView, type in XRP, go onto the futures, and here you go. You can see it on you can see it on CME. You've got all the XRP futures. There is its first ever daily candle. It's not closed, but there you can see the first ever, currently at $2.31. This is on CME. You've got XRP futures trading from today. It was actually trading last night, which is annoying. We should have seen the first 5-minute candle, but no. This is the first daily candle for the XRP futures. This allows institutions to get invested. Does it tell us here? No, it doesn't. But essentially, if it's on the stock market, remember, institutions like it when it's got all this regulatory clarity, because it's on the stock market. That they might be a bit more hesitant to buy XRP on spots. However, now it's on the futures market, just like they trade gold, the S&P, silver, oil. They're all futures. They always trade futures in one sense or another. Not always, but they tend to I deal with futures a lot, and here we go. Now we've got XRP futures, so if they want to get involved, that is now in the US on the CME. A history was made today. This is the first candle. Keep a close eye on it. So when we look back at it on the future in 3-4 years' time, we'll see this all the way down here potentially. There you go. Look at that chart. XRP CME futures. Only one candle. Remember that candle. Let's see if we end up above or below in a few years' time. I'm sure we can be way above. I mean, if we're at $100, that candle will seem so insignificant if we're looking at even at $20 or $10. So we'll keep an eye on it. A little bit volatile today on its first day of trading. There is the XRP futures as well. Going back to Keir
our
Starmer,
cooperation
does he
on
say anything
energy
interesting?
to drive down bills in the long term. The agreement negotiated by the last government left us with more expensive ways of working with our neighbours, despite being physically connected to the European grid by our underseas cables. Today's deal will see us work to bring these systems together again, benefiting bill payers and boosting our renewable industry in the North Sea. Today's deal is also good for British steel, protecting our steel exports from new EU tariffs, saving the industry £25 million every year. Another example of this government backing our steel sector to the hilt. We've reached a deal today on fish, protecting our access rights and fishing areas, with no increase in the amount that EU vessels can catch in British waters. Our fishing industry will also benefit from the new SPS agreement, which slashes costs and red tape for our exports into the European market. And we already sell 70% of our seafood into that market. So that is really significant. It is also opening the gates to selling shellfish back into the EU. And I can also announce today that we're investing £360 million into our fishing industry to help them take advantage of this deal. We've acted today to strengthen our borders. The previous deal left a huge gap in our ability to work together to tackle illegal migration. So this deal closes that gap so we can work across migration routes to end the migration crisis and smash the criminal gangs. We're boosting our cooperation on law enforcement, combating terrorism and serious organised crime, with better sharing of intelligence and data, including facial imaging, for the first time. Today's deal will also help British holidaymakers, as we're confirming that they will be able to use e-gates when they travel to Europe, ending those huge queues at passport control. And I call on all EU members to help make this a reality with our...
I think we've had enough of Keir Starmer. There we go. There he is. Let's close that down. I don't really want to... There we go. There's Keir Starmer, our favourite. So, at least good deal. Trade, I guess, is good. It's good. There's a few good things out there. I just don't need to listen to him. Yes, so we've covered that news. Liquidations, what's going on here? Over the last 24 hours, remember it was all the shorts getting liquidated, now it's all the longs getting liquidated. We've got $460 million in money just gone, liquidated on the long side, and 204 million in shorts over the last 24 hours. Do we have anything on X for you guys? Yes, we've got Cathy Wood with another historical prediction. Let's listen into this.
So we have always had a 2030 target, the base case in the 700 to 750,000 range, the bull case in the $1.5 million range. David Puel, our analyst and our on-chain analyst.
$1.5 million for Bitcoin by 2030. I mean, I'm a bull, but it seems like Cathy Wood is even bigger bull. That's a massive target. That would really propel XRP to $100, I think.
Put that piece out recently, and you can see the building blocks, how much share we expect Bitcoin to either take from gold or grow that store of value market. Institutions moving in, and they've barely moved in. We have 1 million more coins, roughly, to be minted ever, and institutions are just testing the waters right now. And then there's the emerging market use case as well. So we think we have miles to go, yes.
Tesla.
Yes.
What would your new target be?
Yes, so we have always had a 20...
There we go. Base case about 700 to 900,000 and bull case $1.5 million for Bitcoin. We've got Paul Atkins giving remarks at the PLI's stream at 8:40 this morning. So we're going to see if it's worth covering. I don't think it's going to have anything to do with crypto. I'm just getting this. I've got it ready for you guys here, but I don't think it's worth covering. It's in about 14 minutes. So it'll be when the Martyn stream starts. I don't. I think this is for a specific, the Premier leading research for legal and affiliated professionals. So Paul Atkins, SEC chair, is speaking, but I don't think it's relevant. If you do want to see that, that's the link for that page. But I don't think this will be relevant at all to the crypto market, so we won't be covering that. I just wanted to let you know I do know about that. I did mention it the other day, but it's upon further research. I don't think it has anything to do with the crypto markets. What else did we have on X? We have this new UK regulations mandate reporting all crypto transactions by 2026. Firms must report sender and recipient's name, addresses, tax IDs, and full trade details, token type, quantity. Yes, thanks, Martyn. I don't think it's worth covering, but I thank you for that, Martyn. If it was, I would bring it to you guys. So don't worry, Martyn. I will end in 10 minutes' time. Firms can report so look at the new regulations. We're going to make a video on this, but it's just ridiculous, isn't it? So to send something on crypto now, firms must report the sender, the recipient's name, the addresses, the tax IDs, full trade details, token type, quantity, Great British pound value, and timestamp. Non-compliance may incur fines of £300 per user. There we go. This is supposed to be the crypto hub of the world, and this is what we've got going on in the UK. So I'll dive deeper into that and give you more about this. XRP futures have listed today as well. So there we go. Let's have a look at your comments, and then we'll have another look at the charts. If you do want a chart request, let me know. You can do a $4.99 super chat, and we'll do a full chart request. I'm just looking at Bitcoin. Slightly recovering, but we are worried about a fake out, which is a failed breakout, which normally results in downwards price action afterwards. So we'll see how the daily candle closes. If it closes like this would be the start of a big concern. It will be a bearish engulfing candle. As soon as we lose sort of 100,000, then 70,000 would be back on the card. So it's a little bit scary, but we'll keep an eye on it and the broader markets. So let's see what your comments are. Where have I got to? We're not obliged to pay EU carbon taxes. Yes, but Keir Starmer is saying we are. So Starmer just underestimated democracy. People voted Brexit. There should be not going back. Just to recover limping economy and make other EU countries pay for it. Wanted a new PM, someone with Coro Jones. We need a new Prime Minister, someone with Coro Jones. I don't know what that means. I think I'm missing out on that. Coro Jones. Don't know what that means. Bless you, sense. Oh, did I sneeze? I apologise. I do not like Keir Starmer, says James. Tata still is. I don't know what flag that is. I apologise. Cannot listen to the clown. The best deal would be to get a new UK Prime Minister. He's smashing the gangs for the 19th time. Yeah, smash the gangs. Though exactly Starmer, says James. I'll not waste good eggs on that big head, says Ibran Wolf. Good morning, Sensei and the Lucasade family. Morning, Sensei and Lucasades. Hello, James. Good morning, Sensei and chat. Did I miss any ETH news for this day and week? Amina, ETH is looking bearish. We've got Bitcoin with possibly a bearish engulfing candle. We won't know until the day ends, but also remember when we were covering Ethereum last week and we said we're coming into major resistance. Well, that major resistance has held. So let me show you, where's my ETH chart? ETH, there it is. That major resistance, the horizontal support and the upwards trending trend line, that resistance has held. We are seems like we're back on our way towards 1,800 unless something major changes. The US markets continue going back up or Bitcoin continues to move up. It does look like Ethereum's going into its a downtrend once again. That's why I said I definitely would not buy Ethereum at these levels. In fact, I did say I would be selling. Not my whole bag, not if I think the bull market's going to continue, but a significant portion of this I'd be selling. Okay, is there anything else notably moving? Wow, the crypto market's down. We've got Arweave down 8%, Gala down 8%, EGLD down 8%, Dogecoin down 8%, VeChain down 7%. This concerning. That's why I don't like buying on hype. Yes, I buy a few market shares here and there, but I don't like buying when Bitcoin's at all-time highs or breakout watch. I don't like buying Ethereum when it's at a resistance. I don't like buying XRP when it's failing to break a simple level such as $2.62, because this can suddenly change to the downside. We've got Quant down 7%. I'd rather be buying today, but my average is much lower, so I don't really fancy buying today either. Filecoin down 5%. That is not a terrible buy in my opinion at $2.75. Litecoin, I wouldn't touch. 75. We've got Ethereum Classic at $17. I'll potentially start DCAing into Ethereum Classic. Matic is at 22 cents. XRP is at $2.30. Line in the sand. The line in the sand is approaching $2.30. If we don't hold it, get ready for another $2 XRP. That could very easily be the case. I'm not saying sell and buy back. I wouldn't do that because the upside's still there. But $2.30, if it breaks, I'm going to get ready for $2. CRO for James. Where is CRO? Is it on our watch list? Yes, it is. CRO is dropping nicely for you, James. You might get that buy that you want. Keep an eye on that trend line as well, James, because if this upwards trend is going to continue, CRO might bounce around somewhere around 0.88, something like that is possible. Another we might start wanting to DCA in. It's another 5% move to the downside. You might want to DCA if that occurs. Or after that, about 0.8 cents, 0.75 cents, 0.7 cents. But yeah, CRO is moving down, which is good for people who haven't bought. ZBC is holding up very strong, stronger than Bitcoin, showing there's some strength there. Nasdaq is down 1%. Final look at your comments, and we'll be sending you over to Martyn. Let me make sure. I don't know if the link for his show is out yet. Let's see. Let me check the homepage. No, that's the extra channel. Let me check. Martyn Lucas Investor live. That's for the SBC interview. I'll wait, and maybe we've got Martyn's link coming soon. Good morning, JJ, Ball, and Sandra. Hello, James. Good morning, Sensei in chat. Did I miss any ETH news? No, I've just covered it. Prayers for calm and encouragement. CRO dropping perfectly. I'm waiting to buy in at its bottom. CRO. Thank you, Sensei. Much appreciated. Good luck, James, with that. H-bar. How is Virgin today? Further squeezing. Well, the issue is the broader markets aren't giving it enough liquidity. I'd imagine it might be up slightly, but I can't see a squeeze happening if the markets are like this. Yeah, it's up 1.65%. Doesn't look like squeeze will continue. I don't know. Yeah, we did have the SBC video out. Remember, I did sell a bit prematurely, but I said it was a small part of my long-term bag. I sold at $4.50. Then I DCA'd out at $6. I didn't get my sell at around $7, but I've got two trades that gives me an average around $5.52 of selling. And since there, we are down 14%. So there's nothing wrong with trimming. I still do have a long-term position, but for this short squeeze to occur, we need a lot of things to happen perfect. Oh, I'm not even showing you the chart. We need a lot of things to happen perfectly. So there's the chart. Just up 1.65%. The targets were, which we've hit, $6 and $7. That's happened. This was, I don't think this was a target. We can get rid of that. But yes, right now we've got SBC up in the pre-market, so we might get one more test of $5.90 before the downtrend continues. That's always a possibility. We really need to wait for the broader markets to start recovering and provide us that liquidity. Let's look at the S&P 500. Let's see if I can message Martyn and see, do you have a link for show? Oh, can we get 100 likes before he turns it over to Martyn? Go, 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 pump it up. Go, go, go. Should we pump it up? Let's do it. The S&P 500 is down 0.64%, so we'll see if that changes throughout the course of the day. We hope it does. Okay, here we go. Smash the like button. Let's do it.
And people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony.
120 likes we want.
Catches fire. This is Phoenix.
120 likes. Let's do it. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. More likes, let's do it. Three more likes.
Get ready for verse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Don't let the ruthlessness prevail.
There we go. We've got 120 likes. Thank you everyone for doing that. We're going to send you to Martyn in about 5 minutes' time. Bitcoin trying to recover, but really not showing much strength at all. We know how quickly Bitcoin can move, so we'll keep an eye on it. We did break out of the first trend line, and that should have given us enough momentum to really start moving back to the upside, but that didn't occur. The Nasdaq is moving back down for the open. We're gonna watch daily candle. We're gonna watch the opening bell with Martyn. He's gonna be covering that straight after this show. Let's see what happens upon the bell. What is the S&P doing? Let's have a look at the S&P. Let me go on to my indicators. Here we go. We've got the S&P. That's also starting to sell off again. So let's see. This is what's going to affect the whole markets right now. Remember, it's all on that US credit rating news and on anticipation of the Trump phone call. That's all going to be covered with Martyn very shortly. So I'm waiting to get the link from Martyn. Let me see if he... Okay, he's running. There we go. He's going to send that to me very shortly. I feel like I've got hay fever today. The gold is up 1.23%. Remember, safe haven, times of uncertainty, you'll see gold go up. Gold seemed to bounce quite nicely from the upwards trend. that certainly can go to the upside again. Remember, we're looking at a short-term downtrend for gold because of the double top. We're not very bullish on gold as it is right now, or where it was previously. Right now, of course, we can get a bounce. XRP, has that broken through $2.30? We hope not, because that is an important level of support. It's holding it for now. It's holding $2.30 for now, which is good to see. Remember, if it breaks below, get ready for $2. Is silver doing much? Silver's up nearly 1% today, which is good to see. What else do we have? We've got Tesla down 4% pre-market, Robinhood down 5% pre-market. Wow, a lot of stocks are getting hit hard, just like the crypto markets. Biggest loser is Mobix on my chart, down 5%. Then we've got SoundHound AI down 5.6% pre-market. If we go into the 4-hour candles, you'll be able to see it. SoundHound AI down 5.6%. Archer, remember. Oh, Matthias, thank you for your super chat.
Matthias donated 100 Norwegian kroner through a super chat. In XRP since 2022. Never felt like getting into other coins, just kept DCA into XRP. I know a lot more now, and been eyeing others. Narrowing it down to Phil, HBAR and C.
And CRO, long-term outlooks, thoughts. Thank you, Matthias, for your super chat. I would, again, not financial advice. I don't know what your risk tolerance is. I don't know what your situation is, and obviously crypto is very high risk. But if you're asking me for my thoughts, my biggest bag is XRP, and I like Filecoin, HBAR, and CRO. I like all three of them. I think I'm heaviest in probably Filecoin, and then HBAR and CRO are about balance, but that's not for any specific reason. I just see Filecoin maybe with a bit more upside potential. CRO is cemented. I mean, crypto.com isn't going anywhere. CRO is going to be part of ETFs. So CRO is not going anywhere. HBAR, obviously, great technology as well, close to XRP. So what I would do, I wouldn't choose one of them. With crypto, especially with these things, you sort of want to be diversified because some of these tokens can do 20, 30, 40, 100x's, 10x's, and the other one might only do a 2x. And all three of them seem like good choices to me. So I think you've narrowed it down to a good few tokens, but there is no need to narrow it down any further. I would just split it between all three. Especially, I mean, let's look at some of those charts. Let's start with Filecoin, USD. Filecoin, right? Is that the right chart? Let's go on to daily time. We don't need. We go on the 3-day time frame. Filecoin currently is sat basically near all-time lows. It's this level that's previously bounced from many times. Yes, it can go lower. I would always hold out for lower prices, $1.50, $2.35, in case the bull market's over. However, Filecoin has an easy target to $7. I would actually be targeting much higher, $38. All-time highs on this token was $240. I'm not saying it has to go all the way back to all-time highs, but even for a very common retrace, a 50% retrace, you're looking at $118. All-time highs, you're looking at basically 100x from where you are right now. So there's a lot of upside potential. I'm not going to be looking at take profit levels yet, but as simple as something like $7, which on the stock market would be amazing. You've got about 100. You've got about 2.5x on Filecoin to one of a very simple retrace level. So Filecoin to me is got a lot of bullish outlook. CRO, I would always just say $1 should be an easy target for CRO. So from here it's a 10x, and then obviously you can do your 1/6 the target as well in a proper bull run if we get one. We're looking at probably $1.60 and all the way up to $4. So that's got a bullish outlook. And again, CRO is one of the tokens that hasn't been overhyped at the moment. It's just steadily getting higher highs. It actually looks better than Filecoin in terms of a long-term view, because you've got higher lows. You just know more people are holding it. Filecoin is been flat and near all-time lows. This has had a nice upwards trend. What else did he say? HBAR. HBAR, again, that's going to be the one that's at the highest valuation at the moment in terms of where it's been previously. So we don't know as much for the upside potential. However, it is obviously showing strength at these higher lows. More people want to be owning HBAR. HBAR's technology is great. So yeah, I've got targets all the way up to $1.43. So HBAR's probably might be the safest out of all three of them. But and then closely followed up by CRO. Filecoin probably be the most speculative. So I definitely like all three of them, and HBAR is probably the most overvalued at the moment as well, but that can stay overvalued. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'll definitely split it between the three of them. Alerts off. Someone sent Super JJ Bull. No, alerts are on. We heard it. CRO. I get CRO by card. Congratulations, Jerry. Joe, I've got the Crypto.com card. Yeah, I had the Crypto.com card, but obviously I had like the red Ruby card, but you just obviously had to stake stuff, and it's, I think, was it a year ago, 2 years ago, where they completely slashed the rewards. No Fartcoin, no Fartcoin. Crypto.com isn't Crypto.com isn't immune. I don't know what that means. Fartcoin makes me laugh every time I hear it, so that's why it's a meme coin. There's the results of our poll. So, and we've got Martyn's link as well, so we'll send you over to market right away. Which market worries you the most? Which market force worries you the most right now? The number one was the US debt bond sell-off, where we explained that to you. It does seem like it's not too important. Geopolitical, Putin-Trump, China. We've got the Putin-Trump phone call. Martyn's going to be covering that live now. Recession, 19% of you. No one's worried about the tech underperformance. So there is the link to Martyn's event. That is starting shortly. So what we're going to do is send everyone over to Pimp My Pump. There's Martyn's Pimp My Pump. Donald Trump calls Putin. So we look forward to that. The war can end in minutes. Let me see if I've got any messages. No, I don't. Okay, so what I'm going to do is send you over to Martyn. Final look at the markets. Yeah, Bitcoin's not looking great right now. And the S&P 500 is moving down. Okay, so we'll see what Martyn has to say about all of this. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Stay exactly where you are. This stream will take you directly there. Well, it's a clever way to say the exchange without my comment disappearing. Oh, right. Does it disappear if you put the... It's such clever, isn't it? So clever to call yourself Crypto.com. I think they spent a lot on that exchange, but or on that domain, but it's definitely worth it, isn't it? Let me see. Every time you want to describe the exchange, you're saying Crypto.com and you're just sending someone a link to. It's amazing. I love it. So clever. There we go. Thank you for your super chat.
Josh Monroe donated $2 through a super chat. Super chat.
Okay, thank you, Josh, for that. Did you? Was it you who said the super chats weren't working? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. No, I think it was JJ Bull. Thank you, Josh Monroe. Okay, everyone stay where you are. We're going to send you straight to Martyn now for the Putin-Trump phone call. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Make sure you always subscribe. I came on live 2 o'clock last night because there was breaking news. If that happens again, I'll do it again. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you have your alerts on as well. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.